Hey, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the podcast. And this is News and Views by Doug. And this is where I talk about the observations that I'm making and then giving my opinions of world events, politics, and pretty much anything else I want to talk about. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. I hope you like it and subscribe. And I hope each one of you leaves a comment and gives me your opinion. So, a lot of stuff coming out of the Middle East as usual. And President Trump said this morning, today is Tuesday, May 12th, that the ceasefire between the United States, Israel, and Iran is pretty much on life support. And it's almost over. Iran keeps doing their crap. So let me read from my notes so I don't screw things up. It's been reported that Iran still has between 500 to 1,000 of these mosquito boats, and they have a lot of missiles. So we're waiting on them. We know they'll come back out and make attacks. Plus, they still have those little mini submarines that the Iranians are calling dolphins. And no, folks, they're not using real dolphins to go after the oil tankers and the U.S. Navy ships. So here's a weird thing. Pakistan has been trying to be the go-between between the combatants. And they've been having peace negotiations and all this kind of stuff. But last week, Iran attacked several anti-Iranian militant camps along the Pakistani border. And then we come to find out that Iran took a lot of their air force and landed them in Pakistan and Afghanistan to protect them from attack. We don't know how many of those planes are in Pakistan and Afghanistan, but for people that are supposed to be peacekeepers, we know what side they're on, and it's not ours. So it just came out this morning. It came out a couple days ago that Kuwait had arrested over 40 Iranian spies. Well, now it turns out that 4 saboteurs from the IRGC landed on a Kuwaiti island, and there was a major gun battle, and they captured all of the Iranians, and they were saboteurs. They weren't in military uniform. They were there to create hell. But they said it was a massive gun battle. And one Kuwaiti soldier was critically injured. Still alive, but still injured. And Kuwait's pretty much been staying out of the war, but yet Iran keeps attacking them. Then it turns out the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, sent their air force in. Now, they did this back in April, but apparently they did it again yesterday. And they attacked several oil facilities and destroyed them in Iran, retaliating against all the missiles and drones and cruise missile ballistic missiles that Iran launched on the UAE in the last week. So the UAE's Air Force retaliated. Now, this is something I thought I would never say in my life. Apparently, Israel and the UAE are pretty good allies. Never thought I'd ever say that. Israel has now sent the UAE the Iron Dome defense, the missiles. But they also sent troops to man those missile installations to protect the UAE from Iran. So things are really building up. Now, the New York Times and some others reported a couple days ago that Russia is secretly supplying the Iranians with weapons. And they're using the Caspian Sea to bring them in. And there is a direct, channel between Russia and Iran in the Caspian Sea. But also there was a lot of planes, big white planes, Airbuses, that were reported to have been flying over Tehran. And they were believed to be Chinese and probably Russian, bringing in more weapons to resupply Iran. So the question is President Trump going to finally end this? Are we going to obliterate the IRGC and the Ayatollah and the regime? Because we just can't let this drag on. We need to use our might and wipe these people out and bring back freedom to the Persian people. That's my opinion. Now, Iran, it was reported that they killed between 30 to 40,000 of their own people that were protesting against the regime. And then it came out that they hung over 1,600 people so far this year. It was reported that they were going to execute another 800, and apparently President Trump, he spoke to them and sent word that he would really appreciate if they wouldn't hang their protesters or other political prisoners. And supposedly Iran agreed and they didn't do it. Well, it came out yesterday that a 29-year-old aerospace engineer, Iranian, was hung, and apparently a note was smuggled out of the prison where he had been kept for the last 8 months. And it basically said that he had been tortured for 8 months and gave a false confession of working for the CIA and Mossad. And the Iranians hung him yesterday. And it's believed that they're going to start hanging more and more people the more desperate they get. So, if there's anyone in Iran that can actually get internet and happens to be looking at this channel, I encourage you, rise up, attack the IRGC, get your army to help you, because we know the Iranian army is for the people. They're not for the regime. And fight back and take back your country. Be free again. Iran was a beautiful country and modern technology before 1979. And the Ayatollahs, they convinced the college students who were beginning the revolution against the Shah to rise up. They encouraged them. And then as soon as they took power, the regime wiped out those college students, killed them. And they've been in charge ever since. So things have got to change. We've got to get even more aggressive and just bomb the crap. When they first took over the embassy back in 1979, and President Reagan had been elected as president, and he was the president-elect at the time, he sent Iran a message saying, you've had our people held hostage in the embassy, and here's what's going to happen. If they're not released by the time I'm president, in the first 24 hours, we're going to take out your transportation, meaning all their trains. If they're not released within 48 hours, we're going to take out your power stations. If you don't release them in 72 hours, we're taking out your oil industry. And guess what? I think it was a day before President Reagan took office, the hostages were released. And Trump has been saying this. He will take out their infrastructure if they don't change. So, again, I'm not the biggest fan of President Trump, but I do back him on this. So anyways, that's my opinion. What's yours? Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like or dislike button, no matter what you feel. And if you have a comment, please leave it. Truly appreciate your time in watching this podcast. You folks take care.